Did you go alone? Why did you want to go? Would you go back? Hey hoes, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kenzie and I'm so happy that you found my channel. Today we are going to be answering some questions that I got. I put up a little poll on my Instagram story and I got quite a few questions all about my travel related, my trip that I just took. So it's all Halifax related questions. There's quite a few, so let's just go right into this video. I have all the questions here on my laptop. So firstly, fave food you ate. My favorite food that I ate would have to be the lobster roll I had at Peggy's Cove. I'll insert picture and I'll insert the menu of the restaurant because I can't pronounce it and I can't remember what it's called right now, but I'll insert the pictures. It was definitely the lobster roll at Peggy's Cove. Would you go back? 100%. I want to move there. Like, no joke, I really want to move there. At least go back multiple times. I was so obsessed, I was so in love. I definitely going back. Did you have to get tested before flying? So what they're talking about is tested for COVID. No, I didn't, because I live in Canada and I traveled within Canada. I didn't leave Canada, so I did not have to get tested. It was recommended, especially when you get to Nova Scotia. It's highly recommended you get tested once you land. Not required, but no, I did not get tested. I did not have to get tested. So no, if you're flying within Canada, you don't have to get tested. Was it expensive? Hotels, flights, etc. The hotel, absolutely not, was not expensive because like Halifax thrives on tourism, and with COVID and everything, it's not thriving right now. So my hotel was probably $80, $88 a night. I think it was $88 plus tax a night. And I was there for 4 nights. So it was less than $400 for 4 nights, which is very cheap. The flights was fairly cheap as well to fly from the Prairies to the Maritimes. It was roughly just over $1,000. It seems expensive, but when you put it into perspective, any other normal year, it's more expensive. So I would still say the flights were pretty cheap. And if I had bought my flights a week earlier, they would have been $300 cheaper. So, they were fairly cheap as well, but they were over $1,000. My hotel was roughly $400. So for hotels and flights, it was roughly $1,400. The most expensive thing that I would say is the Ubers. They just got Uber down there, and you have to Uber everywhere because, or at least I did Uber everywhere. So I would recommend renting a car for that. Moving on. Where would you recommend to go / stay? So I was really happy with where I stayed. I stayed at the Best Western plus Chocolate Lake. It was roughly a 7-minute Uber ride downtown, which is where your main attractions are going to be. I would recommend staying downtown, or if you're not staying downtown, again, I would recommend renting a car just because Ubering everywhere did add up. So I would recommend staying downtown. I really did love the hotel that I stayed at, and I was quickly downtown if I wanted to get there. So I would do that. Either stay downtown or stay elsewhere, but rent a car. You're gonna have to taxi to Peggy's Cove. Either way, so that really doesn't matter. Unless, of course, you rent a car. But yeah, I would recommend staying downtown. And where would I recommend you to go? Downtown Boardwalk. They have this waterfront boardwalk along the harbor downtown. It's really beautiful. They have a lot of cute little shops, and they have like restaurants on the boardwalk, and they have like little, I don't know what to call them, but like little huts, like food huts. Like, they kind of reminded me of the fair, but like 10 times better, you know? And 10 times nicer. Downtown Boardwalk, I would recommend Peggy's Cove 1000%. I spent the whole day at Peggy's Cove, and I didn't personally get to do this, but it was something that I did want to do, is just go to a beach on the ocean. I didn't get to do that because of the weather, but obviously anywhere you have the chance to do that, I definitely recommend it. Why Halifax? Like, why did you want to go? So I am 24, but when I was 16, I started looking at universities because the universities that I wanted to go to, obviously you want to know what classes you need, and like at the time when I was 16, I wanted to be a marine biologist. Oh my god, my voice. I wanted to be a marine biologist, so I had to go somewhere where the ocean was. So my options were Vancouver and Halifax if I wanted to stay in Canada. So I applied, I did my research. I applied to both UBC Vancouver and Dalhousie in Halifax when the time came, the summer going into grade 12. I applied to both schools. Halifax was my #1 choice. Dalhousie was my dream school. I had switched by the time I got my acceptance letters and stuff. I didn't get accepted, but by the time I was getting accepted by universities, I had changed my mind. I didn't want to be a marine biologist anymore, so I didn't end up going to Dalhousie because they're mainly a health related school, like nursing, ultrasound, like health related fields mainly. They all obviously do everything else as well, but so I didn't end up going to Dalhousie even though it was my dream school. If I had to go back, I would go to Dalhousie regardless of what I decided to take, but I had gotten my hopes up and I was so excited to take marine biology at Dalhousie. So Dalhousie was my dream school, that I had looked up all of these things that I wanted to do when I moved there for school, and I never went to school there, so I still had all these things that I wanted to do, and I still fell in love with Halifax looking up this school. So I've wanted to go ever since. So this trip was long in the making, like 8 years in the making. So yeah, that is why I wanted to go to Halifax. Did you go alone? I did go alone. It was my first trip going alone. Long story short, I had planned this trip with a couple people for the past couple of summers. So like I think I was supposed to go on this trip 3 times, and they bailed. They didn't have the money, they couldn't get the time off work, whatever the reason was. So I just stopped waiting for somebody to go with, and I just went by myself, because I figured if I keep waiting for somebody to go with me, it's just never gonna happen, or it's gonna take years and years and years. So I just said, screw it, I'm going alone. And I went alone, and it was the best thing ever. I highly recommend it because like it was my dream trip, my dream in Canada trip, and honestly I got to do everything that I wanted. I wasn't working on somebody else's schedule. Somebody else says, I want to go here, I want to do this, I want to eat here. It was everything I wanted to do. And for your dream trip, that's exactly what you want. So I highly recommend taking your dream trip alone. Not Halifax related, but where do you want to go next? And this is the last question. So the place that I'm actually planning on going to next is Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii possibly through New Year's, but sometime in December, maybe right before Christmas, again maybe through New Year's, or maybe during February break, because maybe my friend will come with me she's still in school, so maybe February break. But Hawaii, I also want to go to Toronto for the Pittsburgh game, Pittsburgh Penguin game. I'm a huge hockey fan, if you didn't know, so that's in November. Bali is another dream trip of mine, which I think we're gonna be taking during my birthday in April. There's so many places I want to go to next, but realistically thinking right now, my next trip will be in November to Toronto for a weekend. And it's to see the Pittsburgh Penguins play the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I'm hoping my friend who lives in Ontario will meet me there and go to the game. It all depends on her midterm schedule. So yeah, I literally have the travel bug again. I hadn't traveled in 2 years. My last trip was Toronto in January for 36 hours. So it's not much of a trip. Before that, it was like Mexico, like 3 years ago. So I had kind of like wavered off the travel bug. I wanted to go to places, but like I wasn't like had that itch to go like right now. now that I went to Halifax, I have that itch again. Like, I want to go somewhere now. But yeah, so Toronto in November, and then possibly Hawaii in December. Traveling to the States is very sticky for Canadians right now because you have to get like 3 separate tests. You have to get a test before you leave. You have to get a test before you come home, and then you have to get a test when you get home. And all of those cost money. So I'm probably gonna wait to travel outside of Canada until the tests become a little less aggressive. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy. I post videos every single Wednesday. I have been slacking, but every single Wednesday, you guys, there's a video every single week regardless, but I'm aiming for every Wednesday. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.